What's up, guys and gals? In the previous episode of Unrest, we had been acting as a farrier, just kind of moving things around between the Naga merchant and our family. We were forced to be married to this guy who's kind of an asshole. Apparently everybody else hates him, and so typically that's enough for me to go on. I mean, we are going to inquire just to make sure. We're going to do our scientific adventuring and make sure that we find out if he actually is an asshole or not. But since everybody else, I'm willing to bet that if everybody in a city hates that one guy, they probably have a reason. Let's talk to Payal. Tanya, I read the poem that you gave me. I mean, there's a word here and there I didn't get, but that's great to hear. You're getting married. I want to get married. I can't wait to find out who my husband is. Is there somebody that you want to marry? No, but marrying is fun. You get kids to boss around and you got to run a house. But do you actually want a husband or just everything that comes with one? I don't know. Who told you running a house was fun? Did they run a house? And did they have a choice in the matter? Are you okay? I don't know. I really don't. I don't understand what you're talking about, but I don't want you to be sad. Can you feel better? You know what? I think I can. Thanks, Pyle. She's a little kid. Why are you going to try and drag down a little kid with a whole bunch of depressing bullshit? Like, I mean, she's a little kid. Come on now. Let's not drag her into anything too heavy and weighty, philosophically. Let's just be on our way. You know, to be exploring esoteric topics here. What's going on? Oh, there's our aunt. We need to talk to her for our uncle. You know, I love your uncle dearly, but one of these days he's gonna make me whack him upside the head with a shovel. You know what he's been telling me? He's been telling me we shouldn't go to Laxmi's people and get the food we need for our wedding feast. Like we're gonna celebrate our new life with some gourd rinds and soggy rice. Don't you worry, Tanya. He's got another thing coming. Well, we can say, I'm glad to see you care so much. Maybe we should talk about that. Auntie, please don't make a fuss about this. I don't really care. Maybe we should talk about that. Don't you start on me too. This isn't just about having a grand feast, you know. We have a right to demand extra food from the stockpiles. We grow that food. We follow Laxmi's orders, and we don't ask much at all. But when we have a wedding, we have the right to go up to her door and say, here's what we need. Laxmi's husband never turned us down, not once. He may have grumbled, but when his people came back out, they were ready to approve everything that we needed. But Laxmi isn't her husband, is she? These are tense times, or we can say, I know, she'd probably give us the food, but should we take it? Interesting, I just thought it was a matter of rights. But Laxmi, I'm gonna go with the first one. You know what? Laxmi should just try to punish a peasant for asking for a wedding feast. This would put a turn on her in an instant. People are too afraid of Laxmi and her men. They don't know how the balance of power really works. Auntie, they have spears. That's how it works. You know, I don't know how much you mean to let through, but I know bitterness when I hear it, with one S. Sometimes you're so bitter that you just can't afford to have that second S. You're just like, nope, I am too bitter right now. I will not afford you the final S. You're not happy about this, are you? No, I just don't want, I can say that, you know the truth, I never really wanted to marry at all. We could say, I wish it wasn't him. I don't know, maybe it'll turn out okay. Or we could say, I don't want you making a fuss, please. When you put it like that, all right, I'll be good. Just remember how this, no matter how this goes, no matter what happens, we will always be there to help and support you, and I mean that. If your aunt goes, so I don't know if I should tell you guys spoilers about what happens, but if your aunt goes, so spoiler alert, if you're going to play this game on your own and you would have played this differently, shut down the video now and skip like 20 seconds ahead. If you let your aunt go and get food from Laxmi, Laxmi has her beheaded. So yeah, be careful about it. Be careful. That's all that I'm saying, is that things have a tendency in this game to get really gangster really fast when you mess up, and you just be like, oh damn, I wasn't expecting anything that severe, like maybe a beating or something, but Nalaya, that's a pretty name. Oh, it's you. Look, as far as I'm concerned, my husband's family is the only family that I've got. Don't think I'm gonna be your big sister just because my brother has to marry you. You're really more like the infection that sets in after a wild dog bites your ankle. Cute. I'm glad we both set aside the time to be really nasty to each other today. Now listen up, because I'm not going to say this again. I don't like you. I never asked to be related to you, and I'm not going to put up with you because of some stupid decisions my father made. You don't always get to pick your life and your family. I should know that. You know, if you weren't such a self-important little twit, you and Hanu might actually make a good pairing, but that's not your style. You'll fight him whenever he's wrong or stupid or doing something you don't want him to. Fair warning, you're going to be fighting him a lot. And say that we're not going to act demure just to please Hanu of all people. I think this betrothal has more problems than just my attitudes. Funny how your parents still couldn't find anyone better, huh? Why am I still talking? I'm going to go with the defiant one. Funny how your parents still couldn't find anybody better, huh? My father blew more than this family had on investments he wasn't half smart enough to manage. We're carrying the sort of debt that takes bread out of your mouth for the rest of your life. Why do you think we're living out here? Except if we get this fat sack of coins like the dowry only your father with his little side business has the money for. That might just solve all our problems without any of us needing to be clever or more virtuous than we actually are. But nobody's happy about it. Father's paranoid that your family doesn't even have the money. And I think on some level his pride wants it to be so. A peasant bailing him out? It's almost too much for him to stomach. So we can say this whole stupid marriage is happening so your father can get my father's money. That's why all marriages happened back in the day. Like every marriage before like 1900 was done for money or property. I guess I hadn't realized how important this was to your family, so what if we actually didn't have the money? Say if it were stolen. Well, my father would start yelling about being tricked and appeal to Laxmi to help out. When Laxmi didn't help because there was no one she could arrest or have beaten that would solve the problem, she'd probably cancel your marriage, tell everybody you're a low and unworthy girl, beat 6 kinds of flesh out of anything that doesn't run away fast enough, drink himself into a stupor and wait for his debt to ruin the family even more. Should be a fun time for everybody involved. Well, it's not my problem. None of this is my problem. Now go away and let me get back to work. We made friends. I feel like that conversation came to a positive head. I love stoking the flames in this game and just making people angry. I don't know why. It's got to be the troll inside of me. Hanu's, Mama, please just go talk to my son and try to make it work. Psh, I don't know you. I don't know you. You don't tell me what to do. Hanu, get over here, punk. Here's how this works. I'm the boss in this marriage. You, don't tell me you're Tanya. Excuse me? I can't believe this. You're not merchant cash, you're not a family friend, you're not even pretty. Why is my father doing this to me? So this is how you're gonna be about it, good to know. We're stuck with this marriage one way or another. Let's be adults about this, or we can be like, I know I'm not eager either. This is how you're gonna be about it, good to know. Shut up, you've got nothing to be upset about. You're marrying up. Half the girls in the village would die to marry me, and I'm stuck with you instead. You should be thanking my parents on your hands and knees. How about the fact that you're clearly an ass? I'm sick of talking to you already. If this is gonna be the rest of my life, go away and let me spend the next few days in peace. Here, take this. My mother told me to give it to you as a wedding present. What did I get? Got Naga currency, which we got from the merchant. Then we got a battered old handmade necklace, well worn and well loved. Cool. Now to get to our plan of skipping town. Yeah, you guys didn't know that that was an option, huh? You thought this was just gonna happen either way. Like hell it is. We're bouncing. We're getting on out of here gangster mode style. Let's go back, and I think we're gonna talk to our best friend next. How we trigger the next event. Oh wow, there's lots of people I can talk to. Okay, let's go with, well, we'll start here. Oh, sorry. Did you want something? Hey, I'm Tanya. You're the girl that's getting married, aren't you? Congratulations. I'm sure you'll be deliriously happy. Yeah, be sure to let me know when the marital bliss begins. I might miss it. You know, I'm getting an odd sense that you don't really belong here. We can say, yeah, I don't. We can agree. We can say, I don't like parts of it, sure. Or we can say, oh, I don't know about that. I mean, I grew up here. It's where my friends and family are. Yeah, well, one village is more or less like the other. This place still beats where I came from, though, trust me. It's just as though one day, without any prior planning, people started throwing things and burning down fences, which wouldn't have been so bad, except that they didn't count on the family running the farms to respond in kind. It was an ugly, stupid, badly handled mess on every part. Your mistress Laxmi had the whole place emptied out before too many people were arrested and tortured to death. I think she took custody of people on both sides of the violence once she painstakingly identified the masterminds. You think anything like that would ever happen here? Enough about all that. Anyways, what's with you? You seem a little subdued for someone days away from marital bliss. We can say we don't want to talk about it. We can say that getting married is a chore just like anything else. You just like deal with it. We can say that we're trying to work the enthusiasm up, but it'll take time. Or we can say I'd rather not marry him at all if I can manage it. I'll go with that one. Well, I suppose in theory one could steal a horse from the stables at midnight. One could do so when one heard chattering near the manor, because that's when the guards on the outer patrol are crossing paths and idling. One could then ride west until one saw the road to Taxila, at which point one finds some students or merchants and blends in, which equally technically would be easier if one managed to steal some money or trade goods before one went. You seem to have thought this out. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm not getting married anytime soon. Anyways, have a nice day, and nice night, come to that. Alright, and so that starts the quest off where we get to go straight G-mode and get the hell out of here. Not G-mod, don't get confused. There's an extra E on the end. If it was G-mod, we'd all be running around with weird clipping facial expressions. But no, there will be none of that here. This is all animated. We couldn't do that if we wanted to anyways. We could make a rough attempt at it, but it probably wouldn't work. Did we get any new? Because we've been kind of an asshole to everybody. We didn't get any new traits. I wanted to get a trait that was just like badass. Doesn't take trash from nobody. Tanya, you can read all sorts of things. I know you do. I've seen you go at it. What do you know of medicine? What? Nothing. No, what was I thinking? Of course you can't help me. You're just a girl. You're useless and I'm useless. Laxmi is useless. This about your family? My son is dying. I've watched him die for almost a week, helpless and hopeless, knowing that Laxmi keeps the best doctor in Bimra in her home not 100 feet away. My son is shriveling and sweating his life away, and I can do nothing. Maybe if you threw yourself at Laxmi's feet, she might help you. And why would she? The only reason that evil woman has her power in the first place is that life doesn't concern her. She has a stone for a heart and poison for blood and keeps her servants on a tight rein. I daren't even speak to the doctor. I fear what Laxmi would do to my family. Well, I'll speak with the doctor. I've got little enough to lose. You? You're young and betrothed. You have your whole life ahead of you. Do you appreciate the consequences that this might have? You could lose your head. Laxmi might strike at your family. Trust me on this one, Harish. Alright, well, I can't stop you, but do not, for the sake of my family, say that I put you up to this. If anyone asks, it was your idea and your idea alone. Tell him my boy's been sick for nearly a week. He's sweating, his flesh burns to the touch, his neck and his groin have swollen up, and every time we feed him, he retches the food back up. Tell him all of that. So let's go find the doctor. I've never managed to get this quest to go through successfully, so I'm gonna see what I can do here to make this work properly, but I've never gotten it to work. The doctor almost always says no. So we want Mandeep. Mandeep is the doctor. Let's swing back on out this way. And Mandeep and Payal. Mandeep's up here. Never mind. I'm going the wrong direction. I can get my directional sense down. A Mandeep is lost in his work and pays you no mind. Excuse me? Yes, I take it Laxmi needs me. We can lie. That's the only one that I haven't tried, so let's try the lie. Yes, there's a child she needs you to take a look at. He has a disease that she doesn't want spreading. I've worked for Laxmi's for years now. If one of the peasants got a disease worrisome enough that she actually took notice, she wouldn't call her personal doctor. She'd call for guards with long, long spears. I don't know why you're lying to me, but whatever's wrong, I can't help you. If this disease spreads, work will slow down. How many peasants is Laxmi willing to lose? Perhaps you don't understand. Laxmi has always been extremely clear about what my purpose on her land is. From the moment I took her coin until the day I leave, I am to only care for one person in the city, and that's her mother, keeping her mother alive and healthy. That means her servants see to all my own needs, and that means I don't have to, and in fact cannot take on other jobs. And that means I don't go around catching diseases off peasant children that I might pass on to her own flesh and blood. I guess I understand. Really? I'm actually surprised. Sai, I'm gonna regret this. Just give me his symptoms in as much detail as you can recall, and I'll tell you what I think. Well, that's straightforward. I'm about 9 parts sure it's dogpox, common to these parts, especially in these kinds of weather conditions. My advice to the boy's family is to keep as far away as possible. The child may be breathing, but he's dead already. I see. Thank you, doctor. I wish I had better news. Alright, let's go back. That's pretty sweet that quest, I totally didn't think that agreeing with him would work, but I figured to take a long shot in the dark, and sometimes the long shot is the one that lands on target, so what can you do? Apparently it worked out for the better. I guess we will go back down and tell him, it didn't work out, it worked out for the better for me as kind of like that metagame player because I get to see how the storyline culminates. For this guy, though, it didn't work out at all. I guess I should revise that statement slightly. Well, what did he say? I'm sorry, Harish. She said the boy won't recover, but he won't see the boy. He can't know that unless he sees the boy. He sounded pretty certain. It can't be. There has to be something. Perhaps if you spoke to the doctor again, he could have medicine or a treatment. All you can do is keep your family clear and not let anyone else get sick. I will think about what you have said. Excuse me, Tanya. My son needs me. So I told you not to get near him because you're going to get sick too, and then, well, I guess you can't explain things to a parent. I guess rationality makes a large change once you become a parent. I wouldn't know because I haven't gained that little stamp on my resume as of yet, but I can see it being something that would change the way, maybe I get sick, maybe I don't, but I'm spending the last couple minutes with my child. Let's go ahead and talk to Payal, maybe? Hiya, Tanya, feeling better? Okay. Well, it's marked our dowry on the map, and so what it said is that if we want to leave, we have to get money. Let's go ahead and we'll go and let's check on our dowry and see if there's any way that we can filch that. What are you doing here? You're not allowed near Laxmi's estate. I'm here to pick up her laundry. You lying to me? Because if you're lying to one of her guards, then you trespass on her property. I promise that Laxmi's gonna kill you. It'll be the funniest thing that's happened here for months. I'm not lying. I'm here to do laundry. Ooh, I don't know what I should do. I'm not lying. I'm here to do laundry, or should I cut him in? That's a tough call, because either way, the guards are standing right here. What? You serious? Okay, listen, I don't want to know what you're doing, and I don't want to know what you've got in mind. Just give me 50 coins of the dowry, and I'll let you in. But if Laxmi gets suspicious, I'm spilling my guts before she spills them for me. If that happens, she's gonna have you executed, understand? We got a deal? We got a deal. I don't have a whole lot of bargaining space now that I've given the plan up. He could go rat me out the second I say. I have no room to haggle with him. If I try and haggle with him, he'd be like, oh, I'm just gonna go snitch you out and you're gonna die anyways. So basically, he has us by the proverbial gonads at the moment. Just get in there, grab it, and bring it back. Don't try talking to the other guards. You don't want them to start wondering why you're here. Let's get up in here. Okay, and so we picked up the most valuable stuff from that pile. The remaining valuables belong to the village's more privileged inhabitants. Anything more than you've already taken will be hard to conceal. Then again, you're already a thief. Oh, I didn't realize that wasn't my stuff. Choice picks of the village's more valuable objects entrusted to Laxmi's safekeeping until today. Some of these were clearly meant as wedding gifts, so we've already got ourselves like 70 coins or something. In a minute, you hold a sack containing your entire dowry. Your father must have been preparing for your marriage most of his life. This is a fortune almost beyond the grasp of a peasant. More money than you've ever seen in one place before. Take the money with you. I feel like an asshole right now, but you gotta do what you gotta do. I promised myself I was gonna play this through like straight G mode, because last time I just like gave up and got married. It was just like, okay. This time I wanted to see what happened if I went the other way. Alright, where's my money? Pay up and get out. I'd rather not see your face again once we're done with this. Here. Don't do anything stupid with that money, you hear me? We're both in this now. Oh wow, that was a lot of money. Okay, considering the diplomat from an entire country had 500 coins on him, and the princess had 500 coins, we've got 320 coins. That's a pretty considerable amount. All the money your parents put towards your marriage, and choice picks of the village's most awesome objects. Cool. We finally got that diamond-studded Rubik's Cube that we always wanted. Can't solve it still, but... Oh, there's a hiding place. That's right, we have to hide the money. Okay, so there's fissured rocks. Let's go ahead and hide the money in here. And is that all we can do? Oh, we're gonna get caught because we can't bury these valuables. No! I wonder if I could put the valuables in the Naga's cart. Hello, is someone there? You quickly duck out of sight behind the rocks and slip under the fence again. Huh, I guess it was nothing. The guard looks over his shoulder, shrugs, and sits down directly on top of your hiding place. He lowers his helm over his eyes and folds his hand behind his head. Luckily, it doesn't seem as if he'll notice. Okay, I wonder if you can put the valuables in the Naga's cart. Let's go find out. Oh, that's such a terrible, shady thing to do. What are you doing? No going to the city for peasants. Never mind, we're not going to go that way. I just want to see if the option's there. I'm not actually going to do it, but I want to see if the developers actually thought about that, because that's pretty underhanded. It's pretty underhanded and evil. Okay, so we can't stick anything in the cart. That's just what I wanted to know, because we're still walking around with valuables on us, and it makes me slightly nervous. Okay, and so wait until nightfall, then flee the village alone with... Wait, I have supplies. I totally have supplies right now. Did I lose my gold by putting it in the rocks? Oh, no. Okay, so we need to figure out some way to get him the hell out of the way. Oh, it's so weak. Was there anything you wanted? I have nothing much to sell you. Most of my cart. Okay, we're not going to go with him. Slash her. We can sell some stuff maybe to this guy down here with supplies. Damn. I feel like I messed up. Can't complain. No money, not a lot of food, but at least things are peaceful. Let's look for travel supplies. That sword's not for sale. What, my old army sword? Nah. That's just to scare the soil out of light-fingered kids. If Laxmi found out I sold it to a peasant, she'd probably burn me alive. Why? You weren't thinking of picking one up for yourself, were you? Very funny. Let me see what else you've got. What's some of that dried meat? The secret's in the salting. 2 coins on account of compliment. Okay, so we got that. Maps. 5 coins for that. And then blankets. 2 coins. Okay. Let's continue to try for the sword. I said that I don't know. I feel like I could use one. Well, yes, I do know what it's like to need a sword, but that was rather because the men on the other side had them too. It seems an appropriate tool to use in a peasant village, doesn't it? Particularly for a young girl. Did you ever kill anybody? Nah, a few of us did, actually. Almost all the army spent the war marching, cooking, bickering, and picking at blisters and scabs from carrying gear around. That doesn't sound like a horrible army to be in. The army of beer! There was one battle fought the whole war, and it was miles away from where we were. We got there just in time to help bury the dead. But enough of that. You were here for a reason, yeah? Okay, so I guess we can't get the sword. That does, however, give us a map of Bimra. Perishable supplies like dried meat, okay. Rough linen for sleeping under. It's scratchy, but better than the alternatives of sleeping out in the open. Like, we really need this guard to go away. This is bad for us. This is really bad for us. I want that money back. When we technically didn't need it because we've got like 20 coins or whatever. But there's like 300 coins under that log. I don't know who we can talk to. Opportunist. Tanya sees the advantage where others would shy away. Good. We kept it real. Sometimes that's what you gotta do. Gotta keep it really, really real. With extra real. We can talk to Juhai. We can talk to Uncle. Let's talk to Uncle. Well, I haven't seen her storm through here yet. I guess you got her to rethink things. I did indeedly doodly. Well, we've got supplies, but we've got no money. I think that might just be the way the cookie crumbles for the game. The game seems to do cruel things like that to you all the time. I don't know if there's a way for us to get the guard out of the way. Like, these items are not usable. They just kind of have them. And after we walk past a certain point, it automatically marries us. So I'm kind of afraid to talk to anybody. I'll talk to Juhai first, though, because she wanted me to talk to her after. Did you talk to Hanu? He's terrible, isn't he? Can you imagine spending your life with him? Who knows what he's capable of? You're right, I have to find a way out of this. Come on, think, there's gotta be something you could do. Who could I even go to with advice about this? Rada would just tell you why not to do it, I don't know, but just let me know if you think of something. I don't want you to have to go through this. I'm gonna steal a horse tonight is what... Oh, so what do you think you're gonna do? So I stole the dowry. Oh wow, you really did it? You're amazing. What are you gonna do next? Well, we can give the dowry to Hanu's father. We can try telling Hanu's father that the money never existed in the first place. We can try and run for it. I mean, the money technically doesn't exist anymore now that that guard's in the way. Because the game's not going to offer us the opportunity to wait until the guard goes away, I don't think. I'm going to try and run for it. Yeah, you could steal a horse and get out of here. Tanya, I can't believe we'd even thought... Don't you see? We can both get out of here. You and me tonight for good. Are you sure about this? We're taking a huge risk. Come on, what do you think I'd rather do? Stay here and get married or run off to foreign lands with you? You know me better than that. Get some supplies from Deer. Get things in the stables and get ready to leave this village behind. I'll see you tonight. Okay. Has that rearranged anything for me? Ooh boy. We need to get back at the hiding place badly. And I don't know if that's going to be something that's even possible. God, you'd think we could come up with some kind of diversion or something. Let's talk to Payal. Maybe she can do something. Nope. He's still sitting between the rocks. Seems gonna be here. If he's snoring... we can't leave that money behind. We, like, cannot. If we leave that money behind, we are boned. That's so much money, and it'll make the next part of the game so much easier. I mean, I can't guarantee we're not gonna get caught. I've never done this before. We might get caught and executed. Characters tend to die in this game a lot. Alright, well, I'm just gonna leave the money and go because there's like booby traps around where if you talk to certain people, they'll rat you out and it'll like auto-marry you, and it's just like, I don't want to risk it. The two of you flee that night. You learn together that two riders attract more attention than one, and that riding is not nearly so easy as it looks. From the moment you hear the alarm raised, you know that the night might not end well for one or both of you. Whatever fate you meet, you hope that you go to meet it together. And so we got Opportunist and Independent. Tanya acts in her own self-interest. You are Asha, so we're back in control of the princess now. You're supposed to be dead. Bimra believes that the royal family was killed by slum rioters, but Asha knows better. At Vijay's order, his confidant and royal spy struck the blows that slew her parents. Shyam's mercenaries prevented the rest of the retinue from escaping. Asha was small and quick enough to escape into the slums. Her old allies, the people she trusted, Uncle Avinash Kanika, vanished that night. She is alone, and for a full year, she has been alone. Traits: she has starving. She can't remember the last time she had scraps to eat, and she's a fugitive. She's a fugitive. And so no one can know who Asha is, or she'll meet the same fate as her parents. Hey, girl, wake up. No good to sleep here anymore. Naga showed up and they look hungry. He moves to help you up. Thanks. You're shaking. Are you sick or just hungry? Hungry. No food for 3 days. So you don't have anything? He scowls and instantly seems to forget you're standing there, so he was only helping us in the hope that we would give him food. I think this is a good spot to break off the episode, so my name is Splattercat. Thank you for joining me here at the Nerd Castle for the next episode, the third, in fact, of Unrest. I look forward to seeing you all in the next episode. Take care out there, everybody, and as always, hi-do.